Details into the arrest of an alleged super speeder. Troopers clocked a 20-year-old going 155 miles an hour. When they pulled him over, they say he thought he was going about 80 down I-4 in Seminole County. Fox 35's Stephanie Buff-Monty found out how police were able to catch him.
95 over the posted speed limit, that is a missile going down the interstate system, and it can kill.
He said he thought he was going 80, but he was really doing 155?
Someone.
Lieutenant Tara Crescenzi says a Florida Highway Patrol trooper doing radar enforcement clocked Octavius Hunt doing 155 miles per hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone.
In a 60?
It happened around 1 a.m. Sunday on I-4 in this Dodge Challenger. That's when the trooper called in for help.
We had a trooper up ahead that was able to be able to identify that vehicle, and then put them two together. They were able to put a vehicle in front and a vehicle behind and get them over on the shoulder.
The 20-year-old told troopers he was only going 80 miles per hour as he headed to a friend's house with 3 others in his car, but the trooper didn't buy it.
It is so dangerous to be driving that fast, not only because of the new law change and potentially facing jail time, but also the consequences of if you were involved in a crash. If you crash into somebody else or you lost control and you crash into a concrete wall barrier, you're not only going to kill yourself, but you could potentially kill your 3 passengers.
Hunt was arrested under Florida's new super speeder law, which heightens penalties for anyone going over 100 miles per hour or anyone driving 50 miles an hour above the posted speed limit. He also faces an expedition of speed charge.
To be traveling 155 miles per hour, you were obviously trying to show your passengers what that vehicle could do, and luckily we were able to stop you before it became a tragedy.
And tonight, FHP has a message.
So if you are a parent, be a good role model, explain the consequences, that it could destroy your life over a stupid mistake.
Reporting in Altamont Springs, Stephanie Buff-Monty, Fox 35 News.
All right, so boom, that was in Florida, right? 155 miles an hour in a 60. Your boy was doing 95 miles an hour over the speed limit. Now, in most cases, either way you cut it or slice it in any state, you're going to jail. I mean, that's beyond reckless driving. You know what I mean? It's not even like you're on the main highway and that speed is 70. Like, you know, maybe 80 miles over the speed limit, but your boy was doing 95 over. In most counties, in most cities, in most states, you're without a doubt going to jail. You're not going to be able to explain your way out of that. But specifically in Florida and Georgia, y'all got new laws down there. The super speeder law. Super speeder laws have been implemented in several states in the U.S. As of right now, just Georgia and Florida. I don't know why they said several. Which aims to deter excessive speeding by imposing stricter penalties. The specifics of these laws vary by state, but generally target drivers going above posted speed limits or in excess of certain speed thresholds. In Georgia, a super speeder in Georgia is convicted driving 75 miles an hour or faster on a 2-lane road and driving 85 miles an hour or faster or on a highway in a state. Driving 85 miles an hour or faster on any road or highway in state. An additional $200 state fee, local fines and fees, failure to pay the super speeders fee, 120 days can result in blah, 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 blah. The funding comes from, all right, so boom, here's in Georgia. Now here's in Florida, I'm sorry. In Georgia, they just want your money. You know what I mean? They just want to hit you with a bunch of fees. They're not interested necessarily in putting you in jail. Florida is a little different though. All of these laws took place on July 1st, 2025. Exceeding the speed limit by 50 miles an hour, that's considered a dangerous excessive speeding law or super speeders law. Driving 100 miles an hour or in a reckless manner. First offense is 30 days in jail or a $500 fine or both. Second or subsequent offense is going to be 90 days in jail or a $1,000 fine or both. Multiple offenses can lead to the driver's license revocation within a 5-year period. Drivers exceeding the speed limit by 50 or more miles are required to appear in court. While not using the term super speeder, Virginia has enacted a law similar to that. Every state is different. Like in Texas and Montana, you guys got roads with speed limits up to 80 to 85 miles an hour. So every state is different, but they're starting in Georgia and Florida, and this is what happened. So your boy was doing 155 on I-4. I have no idea what highway that is in Florida. You guys know that better than I do. But I mean, he was doing 155 in a 60, doing 95 miles an hour over the speed limit. They threw your boy in jail with the quickness. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Yeah, they threw him in jail with the quickness. Let's see here. Florida man arrested doing 155. He was in a slim body Challenger Hellcat. You know what I'm saying? 20-year-old was arrested. He had 3 passengers and his car was impounded for 30 days. Putting lives at risk to impress others is dangerous and criminal, according to, oh, what was that, a fly? According to FHP, they're saying that, you know, doing that to impress your friends is criminal. This is on their official Instagram page. At 1 a.m., a Dodge Challenger was clocked at 155 miles per hour in a 60-mile-an-hour zone. 95 over the limit. Putting lives at risk to impress others is dangerous. So not only are they arresting your boy, but, you know, they're throwing your boy under the bus on their Instagram page. First offense is going to be punishable by up to 30 days. So his car is gone for 30 days. He himself is probably only going to be in jail for a couple of days. I don't think they're going to put him in for 30. 20 years old. This is a part of the new super speeders law. I don't think they're going to throw your boy in jail for 30. But I mean, his car is gone for 30. That's for damn sure. And he's probably going to get hella points on his license. Insurance is going to go through the roof. You're already paying for a Hellcat Challenger. Now you got double the insurance or triple the insurance, however that goes. It's going to be a big problem, straight up and down. You know what I mean? It's so dangerous to be driving that fast, not only because of the new law change and potentially facing jail time, but also the consequences of if you were involved in a crash. So, I mean, you know, law enforcement departments are cracking down on this type of foolishness. You know what I mean? Like, we've been sitting here reviewing all of these high-speed police chases and stuff. I think with a lot of law enforcement agencies, they're trying to get ahead of that. Before it even becomes a police chase, if we see you doing, according to the law, if we see you doing 50 miles over the speed limit, or if we see you doing 100 plus, because I don't think in any state in the United States of America can you do 100 miles an hour. You may be able to do 80 to 85, right? I think in Texas, they've got certain highways where you can do 80. But even at 80, 100 miles an hour is 20 over, which, I mean, in most states can be considered reckless. You know what I mean? So it's like there's really no reason whatsoever for anybody to be doing 100 miles an hour, period, under no circumstances, which is interesting because car manufacturers keep making more powerful cars that allow you to do well over 100 miles an hour. So it's almost like they're tempting you. You know what I mean? If you were to go out and buy a 2025, I don't know, Honda Civic, you might be able to get up to 120, right? In a base model Honda, you might be able to hit 120. But I mean, for them to put out scat packs and SSs and GT500s and 350s that clearly go up to 180, 200, or 220 miles an hour, it's like, damn, you want me to have the self-control? Why don't the auto manufacturers have the self-control before the car hits the dealership lot? But, you know, in any case, this super speeder law is aiming to shut down speeding hard before it becomes an issue. Before it can turn into a high-speed chase, they want to shut it down. I mean, the minute that they see you doing over 50 miles an hour, at that point, you can be subject to going to jail, right? And not even just 100 plus. I mean, you could be doing, you could be in a 30 mile an hour zone, and if for whatever reason you're doing 70 or 80 in that case, 50 miles over, you're going to jail. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be 100 plus, you know, 150 plus, anything wild like that. It can be one of those things where just 50 miles an hour over period, you're going to jail. And it's starting in some of the, you know, the hotbed for big power, you know, Georgia, Florida. Apparently it's much worse in Florida than it is Georgia, because in Georgia, 75 miles per hour or faster, you can be convicted, but I mean, it looks like you're just going to pay fines. You know what I mean? You may be able to be arrested depending on what you got in the car or if this has happened to you before, but it looks like Georgia just wants your money. Florida wants your money and your ass. You know what I mean? You can take that however you choose, but they want both of them in Florida. You know what I mean? They want to throw you behind bars and then they want you to pay for it while you are behind bars. So, you know, and your boy right here just found out the hard way. 20 years old, Dodge Challenger Hellcat Slimbody, 155 and a 60. Your boy told the trooper he thought he was doing 80. Okay, we'll roll with it. You know what I mean? But either way, they threw your boy in jail and then they took his car for 30 days, man. So if you don't want that to happen to you when you're living in the South, Georgia, Florida, I would highly suggest that you chill out or invest in, like I did, a legitimate police scanner, police radar. You know what I mean? Stop driving out here blind. You know, as soon as I got my Hellcat, I threw my Uniden at the time, R3 in there immediately. And then as soon as I got my T-Rex, I took that out and I went and got a new one, Uniden R7 for the T-Rex. So at this point, I've got, you know, my Escort for my Hellcat, which we've done that video here recently. And now I've got my unit in R7 for my T-Rex, man. So, I mean, it's one of those things like, you know, a lot of these departments are not playing games. They're cracking down on it. They're cracking down on it, but also, let's just be honest here, they want some of that money too. If they can catch you doing 75 miles an hour to 85 miles per hour over the limit, you know, you're going to be paying some money for that. And obviously the city, the state, municipality, police department, they all want that money. But at the end of the day, guys, I mean, you know, these departments are shutting down on high speeds, man. You know, if you're doing 100 plus miles an hour, I don't know what to tell you, right? I mean, if you're in Florida and you're doing 100 plus, you're going to jail. If you decide to run from police and you get caught, you're going to jail. If you decide to run from police and you get away, it might just be a hell of a story. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm simply saying if you're going to go down that route, you got to go all the way, baby. You got to see it all the way through. You know what I mean? You chose to do 100 plus. Nobody did that for you. So you got to see it all the way through. Either way, whichever option you choose. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm simply saying there's one option where you are definitely going to jail. The other one, it kind of depends on, you know, what type of driver you are. Or just don't speed, period. Just don't do 100 plus miles an hour, period, right? Let's go that route. Just don't speed, period. You know what I mean? Instead of escalating it, just don't speed, period. If you're in Georgia or Florida, don't speed. Do the speed limit. How about that? We'll leave it at there. But yeah, man, just be careful out there, guys, because police departments are, you know, they're shutting down on this high speed type of stuff. You know, these activities, they're not playing anymore right now. You know, I can imagine if you get caught speeding doing 101, 102, 104, and they throw you in jail because of that, the likelihood of you ever doing that again is slim to none, right? Just because of all the trauma that you've been through going through that little shit. It's like you'll never speed again. So, you know, maybe it'll work in the long run. It's just, you know, I don't want to be in jail behind bars for doing 101 miles an hour. That's just me. As always, guys, like, subscribe, comment. It's been your boy Knockout 360. I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.